Hi everyone. Okay, this again is just a conic sections review. You should have already know about conics. I do have a playlist that you can look at all the conics where I really break it down nice. I'm already assuming that you already know conics at this point. So this is 4 problems again. We have to find the center, foci, vertices, and minor axis endpoints of the ellipse. So again, I'm assuming you know the formulas and everything. Our center comes from the top here. So my center is just going to be 7, negative 2. I have to find my a squared, b squared, c squared. My a squared equals 625. My b squared is 576. And my c squared, remember c squared is a squared minus b squared is 49. Therefore, my a equals plus or minus 25. My b is plus or minus 24. And my c is going to be equal to plus or minus 7. And that's just going from here. All right. Now we have to, since the bigger numbers under the x, this is the major axis. So what I'm going to do is I'm adding things to the major axis. So I'm going to write my center down again twice. And I'm adding my c and subtracting my c to the x part, because the x is the major axis. So I'm adding 7 and I'm subtracting 7. Alright, so this is your foci. Alright, and the only other thing we have to do is minor axis endpoints of the ellipse. So basically what we're doing is we're taking our C, we're taking the center here, and the minor axis is your Y. So you're taking the negative 2 part, okay, and you're and adding 2b to it. So 2b equals 24. Or 2b is 2 times 24. Or you can also say 2 times negative 24. So our b portions are 48 and minus 48. And so my endpoints would be, I can't spell, endpoints of the minor axis would be 7, negative 2 plus 48 and 7, negative 2 minus 48. All right, and then as usual, you probably want to straighten this up. I'm going to go back to the foci. 7 plus 7 would just be what? 14. And 7 minus 7 would be 0 here. And then for the endpoints, I'll just rewrite them. That'd be 7, 46 and 7, negative 50. Okay? And that would be your endpoints. Okay, the next problem, it says write the equation of hyperbola with this center. So again, I'm assuming that you already know. I don't know why I put the 24 there. This would be b squared here. This is your standard formula. I know that the part that's the same here is my y. My y here is always at 1. So if I look at this and look at my center, I have 1, and then we go to negative 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so that's your center. We know one foci is at negative 1, 1. which is here. So we know the difference between these is 7. So the difference here is just 7. So I know the other foci, I'm just going to add or subtract 7 from -8, which would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here. So there's the other foci on this part. So basically, when I start writing my equation, I write my center equals 1. And all we have to do is find the a and the b squared. So we know what the foci is. We know that c squared equals 49. Because c equals, we added 7 and subtracted 7. Okay, and the next thing we have is one vertex is at -13, 1. So it's way down this way. So I know from -13 from, so -13 from -8 is 5. So I know my a squared, well, I know my a is 5. Because you're taking this portion and the distance between that is 5. So I know my a is 25. Therefore, my a squared is 25. Therefore, my b squared is, where you add this up, it's just going to be 24. So your b equals plus or minus root 24. All right? And they just want the equation, so I really didn't draw this. I just wanted to get an idea of how this looks, and so I know how to write the equation. So basically, I'm going to write this again. So I have my x plus 8 squared minus y minus 1 squared equals 1. My a squared goes under the x, okay, because that's where the foci is, and that's why I drew this. And then my b squared goes under the y, which is 24. Okay, when you're taking a test, it helps to kind of draw this out so you can get your frame of reference where everything is from. Okay, the next one is we have a hyperbola, and I know the vertices are at 6, 5, and okay, so 6, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here. Okay, it also has an asymptote at y equals 4/3 x plus 5. My center here is going to be at, my center is at x is 0, y is 5. So I'm going to go ahead and write this hyperbola, x minus 0 squared minus y minus 5 squared equals 1. And then all I have to fill out is this. Now, my my asymptote is 4/3. Now I know the 4, when you talk about slope, what I usually do is I know that the 4 goes with the y, because if you talk about this, your slope is y over x. So I square the 4. 4 squared is 16, and I put it under the y. The x part is the 3, and so 3 squared is 9. So my equation is going to be x squared over 9 minus y minus 5 squared over 16 equals 1. All right? And usually on this, what they do is they write your asymptotes as a squared over b squared. But in general, if you just remember that your slope is y over x, then all you have to do is square the y, put it under the y portion, and then square the x and put it under the x portion. So that was pretty easy. The last one is a circle. They want you to write an equation for a circle with its center at negative 11, 2, and the diameter at 14. If the diameter is 14 units, then r is half of that, which is 7. And you just fill it in. This is your h, k. So it's going to be x plus 11 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals 49. And that is all for this video. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye-bye.